In Parshas Ki Sisa, the Yidden sinned with the Egel. That was very bad. And afterwards, Moshe Rabbeinu got angry at Aaron for not stopping them. Aaron defended himself. Shemais Perek Lamed Beis Pasuk Chaf Beis. Vayomer Aaron Moshe. Aaron said to Moshe, Al yichar af Adoni. Don't be so angry with me. Atu yodato esa'am. You know these people. Ki birahu. They're bad news. What are you getting so angry at me? That you know them. You've been dealing with them with their rebellion for the longest time. So relax. Don't get so angry at me. The simple meaning was, come on, Moshe, don't be so angry at me for what happened. You know these guys for a long time. You know that they're really bad. Ki birahu. Like imagine a principal walks into a classroom. He sees kids jumping all over the place. The entire classroom is trashed. He gets really angry at the Rebbe. And the Rebbe replies, hang on a second. Don't get so angry at me. You didn't give me the best kids in the school. You gave me the worst kids in the school. You know these kids since they're in pre-1A. And you know every year what they're doing to the classroom. So what do you want from me? That's Pashut Pshat in the Torah that Aaron was telling Moshe, Ki birahu, they're bad. The Heilige Baal HaTurim was a Rishon like Rashi. The Baal HaTurim, however, says something unbelievable. Ki birahu, the word bira is Oisius Erev. The same letters as Erev. Ki ha'erev rav garmu lehem lasoisai. The Baal HaTurim is saying that Aaron's message was, don't get so upset at me. Because the Erev Rav, they tagged along with the Yidden since they left Mitzrayim, they caused constant agmas nefesh. They always got the weak Jews who didn't have the right amount of emunah, always tripped them up, and they caused the Yidden to behave this way. So don't get so angry, because it's not their fault. Not that it's not my fault, it's not their fault. Ki birahu, it's the Erev Rav's fault. The Erev Rav caused them to make this egel, to make this mistake. So according to this fascinating pshat, the pasuk means the exact opposite of what we originally thought. Vayomer Aaron al Moshe. Aaron says to Moshe, Al yichar af Adoni, don't be so angry with them. Atu yodato esa'am. You know these people that they're good. Right? The exact opposite. You know how good they really are. They didn't mean to do anything bad. They didn't become bad. They didn't become oisvarvs. They didn't become shkutzim, or in English, shkatzim. They would never do this on their own. So why are you getting so angry at them? Why'd they do it? Ki birahu. They did it because they're under the influence of an external source, an external force, which caused them to stumble, the influence of the Erev Rav. And it's only because of that outside influence that is causing them to get confused. They didn't become internally bad. Rather, it is the fault of the Erev Rav. So the first pshat, the regular Pashut Pshat, is that why are you getting so angry at me, Aaron? Right? You know these people are messed up. You know all the tightness and all the problems that they had all along the way, all the stories that they complained. And you know that they're messed up. The second pshat, according to the Baal HaTurim, is the opposite. Don't get so angry at them, because you know these people that they're good. So why did they do such a bad thing? Ki birahu, it comes from the Erev Rav. Our own very chashuv father over here in TP, the Rishkayel Lebabov, or Bavram Torn, Shlita, said an amazing revelation. The word bira is also the letters of the word Erev, Iruv, which means like mixed up, like irvuv. To mix something up is also ayin reish beis. And Rav means a lot. So Erev Rav means a lot of confusion. And with this pshat in mind, Aaron was telling Moshe, they're not internally bad. They didn't just go off the derech. They don't have a shita against Hashem. They're simply messed up because of the Erev Rav. The Erev Rav means a lot of darkness and confusion. And this is a message for all of us. When we see some of our Yiddish kindlech in our day and age, and they're doing terrible sins, and yes, they may be acting very bad, and you might think, Ki birahu, they're bad. You have to remember, they're not internally bad. Just Erev Rav. It's the influence from the outside that hurt them. Other people hurt them, and it's the influence of other people that cause them to make a mistake. And you have to remember, Erev Rav, because of that, they are themselves in a lot of confusion, and that's what's garmu lehem lasoisai. That's underlying what's causing them to sin. Isn't that nice? So what's the solution? So perhaps I could say my own chiddush. The letters of Birah, we said already, is Ra'av, is Rav, and Erev, right? The letters of Rav is Erev, like Erev Rav, and also Erev of confused, mixed. The letters of Birah also make the word Ra'av, hungry. Ra'av Rav means they're very hungry. These kids are starving. These kids are starving. What are they so hungry for? They're so emotional. And the more angry they are and the more disconnected they are, it's because they're so emotional and they're needy and they're dying for our acceptance. And anyone dealing with these kids anywhere in the world will tell you they all have something in common. They want us to accept them. If not for that, if they really didn't want our acceptance, we would have no medicine. But they really want our acceptance, and our acceptance is the medicine. Who ever heard of such a thing? Since Bria Sa'olam, when did any child do something wrong and want their parents to accept them? When we did something wrong, we knew it was wrong, and I don't expect you to accept me. I'm not behaving right. I don't need your acceptance of my bad behavior. But in our generation, it's unbelievable. They're dying for our acceptance. They can't change right now for whatever reason. The medicine is acceptance, and they want our acceptance. And this is another proof that they really feel forced to act out. Because the way that they act is not because they don't care about us, and not because they have a shita, and not because they have thick skin. On the contrary, their internal sweet Yiddish heart does not want to be treated as a rebel. They have so much pain when somebody looks down at them. When we don't give them acceptance and we give them rejection, we push them down farther, further, and further until they fall so low. They can get caught up in terrible sins. But that is only the result of the Erev Rav, the influence from other people that hurt them, and the Irvuv Rav, the lot of confusion, Garmu Lahem La'asaysay, that is causing them to sin. Putting it all together, all these different pshatim together, we need to remember what the Baal HaTurim says, that when we see children acting out Birah, it's really the letters of Erev. They did not become internally bad. It's only outside influences like an Erev that is around the Erev Rav. There's a big force that is around them, but not internally changing their essence. Their essence is toiv. Their essence is good. Essence is a diamond. They're a chelik elokah mimau mamish. And let us remember what Rabbi Torn taught us, that Erev Rav is Erev Rav. There's a lot of internal pain, confusion, and sabrachenkeit, brokenness inside of them, churning inside of them. Like Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, Ki yodati es machoyvav, I know their pain inside of them, their internal pain. It's only the terrible internal confusion that is causing them to act this way. And then let's remember the solution, Rav Rav. They're starving for our acceptance. And Baruch Hashem, that they still want us, because that's the medicine. So now, please join me and let us all commit to reverse the cycle. Ki birahu, if you see Yiddish kindalach that are acting birah bad, let's remember the medicine is to know and to believe that really it's coming from the external and not from the internal. It's coming from external sources of other people that hurt them, and the world that we live in, and the terrible gullus of darkness that they're living in. And really, that's the Erev Rav that causes Irvuv Rav, tremendous internal confusion. Many of them don't know night and day and anything else. They're just so confused. Like I was by Maran, Rabbeinu Reb Gershon Zatzal, Reb Gershon Edelson Zatzal, and he said they're anusim, they're confused, they're not able to make a good decision. Like it says in the Gemara, Ein Adam Chayte Elim Kei Nichnas by Ruach Shtus. Why do we think that for our Averis it's a Ruach Shtus, but for their Averis, no, that's not Ruach Shtus, they're bad. No, I told him, aggressor Ruach Shtus. It's a bigger Ruach Shtus. The truth is not really true. It's a smaller Ruach Shtus, because they're better than us, but they're broken from other things. But in any case, there's a Ruach Shtus. And that ruach comes from what's around them that causes them to be confused. So let's give them rav. They're starving. Let's give them the acceptance that they're starving for. And this will heal the terrible inner Erev Rav, the confusion, the Irvuv Rav, the confusion coming from the people who cause them pain, and the nisyonis of today's streets. Let's end with this. It's no accident that the Navi tells us that before Mashiach comes, Hine Yomim Ba'im Nu'um Hashem Elikim. Behold, the days will come, says Hashem Elikim. V'yishlachti Ra'av Ba'aretz. Those are the three letters. I will send a famine to the land. Lo yirav la'alechem v'lo yitzam alamayim. Not a hunger for bread, nor a thirst for water. Ki im l'shmaya es divrei Hashem. But there will be a ra'av, a hunger, to hear the words of Hashem. What's happening nowadays is not a mistake. Hashem is doing this to us. It is Hashem who is sending us these children, and in these children and in many of us, there's an incredible emptiness which is attacking us. And we think that we, or our friends, or the children are Bali Taiva, and they're looking for bread and water, physical pleasures. Bread refers to Taivas Nashim, water refers to Taiva Kiyudua. The Navi says no. The Navi says that in the time, Ikvas of the Mashiach, no. They're not behaving this way because they have a big, big Taiva for Averis. Don't make any mistake, they're not starving for physical pleasures. They're not Bali Taiva, that's not the problem here. Rather, what are they starving for? They're starving to hear the word of Hashem. And what is the word of Hashem that they are starving to hear? Literally dying to hear. That they are still loved, that they are still wanted, and that they are still accepted. That's the Dvar Hashem that is going to rejuvenate them and make them feel wanted. That's what Hashem says. That Hinei Anochi Shelech Lochem Es Eliyahu Hanavi. What's he going to say? Out of all the things that Eliyahu could say, he says, V'heishav leiv avos albanim. That we have to do first. And then V'lei banim al avosim. We represent Hashem. They're starving for your affection. They're starving to feel that Hashem loves them. They cannot believe that Avinu of Harachaman loves me if Avinu of Ba'aretz, right, does not like me. You represent Hashem and Torah to them. So you have to have kind eyes, compassionate eyes, and you have to show them, no matter what their struggles are, it never changes who they are, that they are your child, and they are Hashem's child, and they are toiv, and they are good, and they're struggling. Everybody struggles. Don't look down at them because their struggles are bigger than ours or different than ours. They have more confusion, and there's many good reasons why they're very, very confused. And let us be zoicha that will reverse the cycle. We'll give them what they're starving for. When we give them that rav, that power that they're starving for, acceptance and love, is more powerful. It's so powerful that it'll undo the iriv of rav, the confusion, as we see all the time, no matter what the confusion is. This is the medicine. And that's going to undo the outside influences by making them internally so strong, and then they're not going to be acting bad bara anymore. And you should all see tremendous Yeshuas from all of our Kinderlach and all of Klal Yisrael. So many people in pain, and the pain causes confusion and mistakes to be made. Hashem should send us all refuahs and Yeshuas. L'ma'ala miderech hateva.